ଭଲ ସବୁ?
Yeah, good evening to all of you. Hello.
Sir, good
Hello.
evening, sir.
Hi, good evening to all of you. It's Vipin Parhi.
Good evening. Good evening. Vijay Tripathi here.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening.
So, I think there are we need not accommodating all of us. That's another problem actually when you take up something virtually, right? And it's also scary when actually you try to speak something when nobody is there in front of you. ठीक है, participants on all the link has been sent to all these.
Namaskar.
Namaskar again, namaskar. Where is Bimal Das? Bimal good achandi kahi not visible.
Join କରୁଥିବେ ଆଉ.
Yeah.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Chief Guest, sir, Mohan, sir. Professor RP Mohan, sir.
Namaskar.
Sir, namaskar.
Professor Mahanti, namaskar. Sir.
Am I visible?
Yes, you are
Yes, sir.
visible.
Yes, sir.
You are visible.
Parhi, sir,
You are
namaskar.
visible.
Namaskar. Welcome to all the respected guests and delegates. Sir, for kind information, we will start the program at sharp 5 o'clock because I got message from our distinguished guest, Dr. Suresh Dalai, that he has to leave by 5:30 because he has to join some other program, online program. So we will start within 2 minutes. Gradually, our members number will gradually go on increasing, but initially we will not wait and delay for starting. I feel, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir, Chief Guest, sir.
Sir, distinguished guest, join now. Dalai, sir.
Welcome to Dr. Dalai.
Good evening.
Our all guests have joined. So,
Actually, it is raining now. That's the problem, sir. Participants joining.
Respected presidents of the Odisha Engineering Forum, Dr. Pravakar, Swain,
Yes.
Chief guest, Professor RP Mohanty, our distinguished guest, Dr. Suresh Dalai, our speakers, Engineer BC Tripathi, Engineer Vipin Parhi, planner Mr. Vishal Jain, and also our another speaker, Engineer SB Acharya, our working president, Engineer Vimal Das, our working president, Dr. Bhaktakavi Das, Vice President, Engineer Sushil Mahapatra, Secretary, Engineer SK Sahu, Joint Secretary, Engineer SK Sethi, all the life members of Odisha Engineering Forum, invited members from other professional societies, academicians, ladies and gentlemen. I now request our President, Dr. Pravakar Swain, to extend the welcome address.
Good afternoon to everybody. I welcome esteemed inaugurators of this webinar Dr. Suresh Chandra Dalai, reputed civil engineer and efficient administrator and presently serving in Indian Administrative Service and pride of our fraternity. I also welcome Chief Guest Professor Dr. R.P. Mahanti, distinguished academician, speakers, Engineer Vijay Chandra Tripathi, Engineer Bipin Parhi, and Mr. Vishal Jain, Professor P.K. Parhi, Chief Editor Vertex. I also welcome the Odisha Engineers Forum, office bearers, working President, Engineer B.C. Das, Dr. Bhaktakavi Das, Secretary Engineer S.K. Sahu, Vice President Professor S.K. Mahapatra, Joint Secretary Professor S.K. Sethi, members of the Odisha Engineers Forum, and all the participants of this webinar on Smart City Administration, role of the stakeholders. We have been witnessing human migration from rural to urban places in search of better livelihood and living standards. This migration has picked up pace in last 2 to 3 decades, resulting in cities becoming densely populated and stress on their infrastructure. This problem is worldwide and severe in developing countries. In case of India, the census report says the urban population of India in 2001 was 286 million. In 2011, the urban population was 377 million. In one decade, the urban population increased by nearly 30%. This stage has this surge in urban population is expected to increase exponentially by 2030. This is leading to degradation of living standards in cities and growing challenges related to waste management, scarce resources, air pollution, traffic congestion, etc. Cities are now experiencing larger issues related to growth, performance, competitiveness, and residents' livelihood. Few foreign governments were early movers to respond to these problems with the concept of smart city. Singapore and London are some leading successful examples of smart city. Visitors to Singapore often say they feel as if they are living in the future, a sentiment echoed by residents as well. What is a smart city? A smart city is a city that aims to make itself more sustainable, efficient, equitable, and more livable for its residents by using technology and efficient usage of resources. Smart cities should have these features: adequate water supply, assured electricity supply, sanitation, including solid waste management, efficient urban mobility and public transport, affordable housing, especially the poor, robust IT connectivity and digitization, good governance, especially e-governance, and citizens' participation, sustainable environment, health and education, safety and security of citizens, particularly for women, children, and elderly. Now, for a city to get these features, it requires synchrony between all the stakeholders, including residents, local and regional administration, planners, policymakers, subject matter experts, scientists, financiers, developers, research institutions, etc. We, as a country, also have taken concrete steps to develop smart cities in India. The Government of India has launched the Smart Cities Mission on 25th June 2015 with the objective to provide core infrastructures, give a decent quality of life to its citizens, a clean and sustainable environment, and application of smart solutions. I hope today's webinar will help the meaningful progress towards achieving this mission and facilitating better synchrony between all stakeholders. Now I request Professor Parhi to go ahead with this webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your introductory address. Now I have the privilege to introduce our distinguished guest, Dr. S.C. Dalai, who will inaugurate the program, and I also will just speak very few lines about the theme topic. I extend a hearty welcome to our chief guest, Professor R.P. Mohanty, our distinguished guest, Dr. Suresh Dalai, eminent invited speakers of the today's session. They are Engineer B.C. Tripathi, Engineer B.P. Parhi, Planner Mr. Vishal Joy. I feel very much privileged to introduce our invited guests about the Odisha Engineers Forum, which is an organization of engineers and established in the year 2001 under the Society Registration Act of 1960. It is associated with multifarious engineering activities, including organizing state-level seminars, symposia relating to engineering topics of practical interest, promoting awareness among people about the social value of engineering sites and need for their preservation. Also to improve the quality of education through interaction with and different technical institutions, and also to develop brotherhood among the engineers of different streams. Every year, the Odisha Engineers Forum publishes one annual technical bulletin, and that is called Vortex, on the eve of Engineers Day, which is celebrated on 15th September. And also, an eminent engineer of the state is awarded with Vishwasraya Samman. In continuation with the series of technical activities, we are organizing the technical webinar today on the topic Smart City Administration, the role of the stakeholders. Mainly, the objective is to promote a sustainable and developed city that can provide core infrastructure, facilities, and also give a decent quality of life to its citizens with a clean and green environment, with the application of smart solutions. Our revered president has explained it well in his introductory address. Important sub-themes, components of smart city mission, redevelopment plans, adoption of green technology in smart city, importance of national building code in application of smart city development, solid waste management, energy efficient buildings, efficient urban mobility, smooth traffic management, smart sewage disposal system, and some other important topics. Those are included as sub-themes in this webinar, and some of the points will be touched by our revered speakers. Before I invite our distinguished guest, Dr. Suresh Dalai, to inaugurate the webinar and have his address, it is my humble responsibility to introduce him briefly for information of all our delegates and also guests. Dr. Suresh Dalai, IAS, is a civil engineer. Our has already told about him. He graduated from University College of Engineering, Burla, in the year 1986. Later on, he joined the Water Resource Department, Government of Odisha, being qualified through Odisha Public Service Commission. Continued in the government in the post of assistant engineer, assistant executive engineer, and later on the post of executive engineer in the year 2003. And during his service period, he completed successfully his ME degree from the reputed institute of our country, that is Roorkee, in the year 1997. And later on, he obtained his PhD also in the year 2013. He joined in IAS cadre in the year 2016, being qualified through UPSC examination. And after that, he was promoted to the rank of Special Secretary in January 2021. Presently, Dr. Dalai is continuing and serving as in the Housing and Urban Development Department and also as Mission Director in Odisha Urban Housing Mission with additional charge of Director of Housing. Since last 1 month, this July week only, he has been assigned with the additional charge as Commissioner cum Secretary to Odia Language, Literature and Culture Department. We are very much proud to get Dr. Suresh Chandra Dalai amongst us to inaugurate this webinar, and he will share his thoughts among all of us. Now I invite Dr. Dalai to inaugurate the program and share his thoughts in this webinar. Dr. Dalai, please.
Good evening, everybody. Now the webinar is inaugurated. Dr. Pravakar Swain, President Odisha Engineering Forum, Engineer Vijay Chandra Tripathi, former Engineer Chief Building Government of Odisha, Engineer Bipin Parhi, Engineer Vishal Jain, Professor R.P. Mahanti, Engineer Bimal Das, Engineer Bhakta Das, and Engineer Bhakta Kavi Das, and Engineer S.K. Sahu, and other distinguished guests present in this webinar.
मुह देखा जाउनी पाखु बसंतु मुह देखा जाउ आपन
एबे देखा जाउची ना तो अछि सामनार अछि
एबे दिसचंती.
Okay, thank you. So good evening everybody, and I am first of all I express my gratitude to be part of this webinar, and I am proud to be engineer first. I am proud myself to be engineer first, then an administrative officer. So that today's topic is smart city administration and role of stakeholders. In the present scenario, what Engineer Pravakar Swain was explaining, the urban population is increasing day by day. The population is increasing 30% in every decade. The present urban, due to the migration of the people from rural to the urban, the population, the present population of Odisha urban area is 70 lakhs, which is around 17% of the total population of Odisha, and that the trend of increase is around 25 to 30% in every 10 years. If we see the statistics, then the same happens throughout India, also in all the cities. So it is this leads to the issues like environmental issues, solid waste management, water supply, land issues, sanitation, affordable housing, traffic management, and some other related issues. So it is the time to plan for the best use of the resources so that we will have a smart solution to all the issues. So this smart city means have a clean, sustainable environment and efficient use of resources. So how efficiently we utilize the resources so that we will have a smart life in the cities. That is the main objective. And if I recollect, that the government of India declared 100 cities in India as smart cities during 2015 June, and out of the 100 cities, we have got 2 cities. One is Raurkela Smart City Limited, and another is Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited. So both the cities, they were selected by Government of India during 2015 June, and from 15 June a number of activities have been taken by both the Smart City Limited, that Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited and Raurkela Smart City Limited. Government of India provided fund in the 50-50 sharing basis. That means 50% will be provided by the Government of India, 50% by the Government of Odisha, for both the cities. And initially, Government of India sanctioned 500 crore for Bhubaneswar and 200 crore for Raurkela Smart City. So now the Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited have fund around 1,000 crore. That is 500 from Government of India, 500 from Government of Odisha, and similarly from for Raurkela Smart City they are having 400 crores. Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited has taken up 28 smart projects. So many projects of different aspects. That is for solid waste management, water supply, affordable housing, sanitation, traffic management, smart solutions, and etc. Similarly, also Raurkela Smart City Limited has also taken up a number of projects, and Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited is performing very well. And from the beginning, when the smart city was declared, Bhubaneswar Smart City stood first throughout the country to be selected as smart city out of the 100 cities. And in many spheres, the Bhubaneswar Smart City has received so many awards. I think 9 to 10 awards throughout the country. And I think except Indore, Bhubaneswar Smart City is the second one in the India to have so many awards like this. So they have taken up 28 projects of 1,800 crores. So their question arises, though how they will get that 800 crores against the sanction amount of 1,000 crores. That is a question mark. Similarly, Raurkela Smart City Limited has received 400 crores, but they have planned for 1,000 crores. So there is also question arises how they will get the balance fund. But this is the status of these two cities. Of course, the Government of India agreed to sanction more funds, and once the Government of India sanctions more funds, the Government of Odisha will sanction more funds as its share. Otherwise, the balance amount will be given by the Government of Odisha. It is in principle decided. But here question is, by only the infrastructure development, the city cannot be considered as smart city unless the stakeholders, those who are utilizing, those who are engaged in the city, those who are responsible for development city, they come forward for the development process. This is the most important. That is why the topic chosen is very nice and appropriate topic for the present scenario. So all the stakeholders, from the citizen to the planner, the politicians, the leaders, and those who are involved in this city management, so this should play a vital role in the smart solution of all the smart cities. So here we have to participate in the debate so that we can come forward, we can suggest the government so what will be the smart solution to the particular issues, so that government can take up the issues and solve in a smart way. So this is I think most important for development of the city. So stakeholders participation play a vital role for development of the city. So this is a very nice topic selected from the present scenario point of view. So I think with this I conclude. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dalai, for sharing your very noble thoughts because you yourself are also involved in the process to some extent in your official capacity because you are in the charge of Housing and Urban Development Department and Mission Directorate also. It is my privilege to introduce our first speaker. He is Engineer Bijay Chandra Tripathi. A brief introduction about him. Our invited speaker, first invited speaker, Engineer Bijay Chandra Tripathi, graduated in Civil Engineering from Regional Engineering College, Raurkela in the year 1983 and joined in State PWD, Government of Odisha through Odisha Public Service Commission. Since 1983 to 2021, he served the Government of Odisha for long 38 years in various capacities, starting from the post of Assistant Engineer to the highest position, the Engineer-in-Chief in the government. As per his qualification, he also obtained a PG diploma in Technology for Development from Loughborough University, UK, University of Technology, UK, under British Council Scholarship in the year 1992. He has significantly contributed for the state PWD, starting from design and execution of structures to handling of pre-disaster and post-disaster management during calamity, design and execution of water tanks, water treatment plants, and other city infrastructure. For long 16 years, he headed the engineering unit in health department for design and implementation of externally added projects, primary and secondary health care of the state. He also continued for as Director of Physical Plants under Odisha University of Agriculture Technology for 3 years. He was involved in the World Bank project for more than 10 years, involved in project management of roads and bridge projects like Biju Expressway, dedicated coal corridor, high-level bridges over River Mahanadi, etc. Engineer Bijay Chandra Tripathi is a fellow of Institution of Engineers India, also life member of Indian Roads Congress, Indian Concrete Institute, Indian Building Congress, and also Indian Geotechnical Society. I invite Engineer Bijay Chandra Tripathi to present his topic. His topic is importance of regular statutory inspection of buildings in smart city. Engineer Tripathi, please.
Thank you, Professor Parhi. Thank you, the President, Odisha Engineer Forum, Professor Mr. Swain, Mr. Dalai, my colleague Mr. Parhi, Sesomandu Acharya, our architect from the Chief Architect's Office, he retired recently, eminent engineers, my colleagues, friends. Today's topic is very much interesting as well as pertinent. We have been listening to Mr. Dalai about the smart city concept. I recently chaired the Tender Evaluation Committee of Raurkela Smart City in capacity of the IC buildings also. And a couple of meetings I attended in video. I would like Mita to share the presentation, please, so that we will go in a structured way. Professor Parhi has given me 15 minutes time. We'll go one by one from the concept of the smart city and the strategy. We'll start next please. Mita. My sequence is like this: the challenges, importance, need, features, aim, strategy, and implementation. And then we'll come to the Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited, broad coverage, what is the board and institution. Next page. Housing in Bhubaneswar, importance of inspection, constraints, role of societies, and way forward. Next. As per the mission statement, smart cities are the cities that work. Here, the both push and pull factors work. People who do not have opportunities, they come here. And there are people who think there are opportunities, they also come here. So it is a both-way process. And needs of the people who live in cities, as we know, livability, economic ability, and sustainability. Next. As Mr. Dalai said, urban population is rising. Along with that, it is contributing to the GDP. So towns, urban areas, cities, they are the sources of GDP now. 2030 scenario, 40% urban population, 75% GDP. And why are smart cities important? Because this is the first organized step for promoting comprehensive and integrated development of the infrastructure, physical, institutional, social, and economic. Next, please. Smart cities need smart leadership, vision, understanding the concepts of retrofitting, redevelopment, and greenfield development, because we are developing smart cities out of existing cities. Smart planning, and it is entirely different from the routine DPR concept that we engineers follow in debates. Smart citizens who actively participate in governance and reforms. Here, this is the underlying point. We have been talking about stakeholders for whom we are preparing the smart cities. It is for the citizens. And the citizens must be sensitized enough to be living in the smart city. What are the concepts, what are the strategy, what are the missions, and what is the time period, what is expected from them. So that is one thing. And what is the method? They have got a special purpose vehicle, SPV, in governance balance, Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited, and similarly in Raurkela Smart City Limited. Mita, next. Mita, next. Next, please. Mita. Smart city features are core infrastructure, clean and sustainable environment, smart solutions, IT-enabled solutions, develop a compact area of the city as a model and replicate it. Core infrastructure include water supply, electric supply, sanitation, stormwater drainage, solid waste management, efficient urban mobility, transport things which I said, and public transport, affordable housing, robust IT connectivity, digitization, e-governance, safety, security of citizens. So we underline this point. Safety and security of citizens concerned with health and education. Next, please. Next. Housing constitutes the fundamental need for smart living, smart city mission, AMSAT, promoting the mixed land use and area-based development, housing and inclusiveness, creating walkable localities, preserving and developing open areas, promoting a variety of transport options, making governance citizen-friendly and cost-effective, giving an identity to the city, apply smart solutions to infrastructure and services. For example, making areas less vulnerable to disasters, using fewer resources, and providing cheaper services. We'll be hearing from my colleague, Mr. Parhi, on the effect of storm on the stormwater drainage later on, and there are other disasters which I am going to highlight here. The smart city strategy is to drive economic growth and improve the quality of life. All these are the mission statements. I have only borrowed from their statements. Retrofit the existing areas, including slums, so that they contribute to the smart city development. Develop greenfield areas. There are other areas where we can develop all around the city. The implementation, as has been highlighted earlier, area-based development and pan-city development. Next, please. Now coming back to Bhubaneswar Smart City Limited, the area-based development, which was referred by Mr. Dalai, is focused on Janpat, and that is 985 acres, BBSR Town Center District, BTCD. Then development of Intelligent City Operations and Management Center, IOMC, or the Pan City Tech Intervention, which is all city coverage. Social equity and capacity building projects in the selected BTCD area. Among other facilities, Pan City proposal includes city service, water, waste and energy, traffic management, emergency response incident management, logging services, fiber optic cable, Wi-Fi access points. Next, please. Smart City Board in BBSR is shared by BCCom ACS. In Raukla also it is the same, and MD is Commissioner BMC, and in Raukla they are Smart City linked organizations in Bhubaneswar, it is BACL, the Apex one, the Nodal one, and then the BMC and PDA, both left and right apps. Next. Now we'll come to our topic. Against the backdrop of smart city, we look at the housing scenario because smart cities need smart citizens. Smart citizens live in different houses. And what are the categories of housing facilities in Bhubaneswar? Apart from the slums, different slums, we have organized housing through government quarters, single flats or multi-story, private houses, single, double, duplex, whatever it is called, triple story, multi-story, single owner, multi-story apartments. Some of them are built by government agencies and some are by private builders and promoters. Next, please. 1950s onwards, mostly government. 1990s onwards, mostly the private apartments, multi-story apartments. Earlier, 1990s to 2010, we had 6 plus 1 7 street floor maximum, and then the rules changed, and we had to like 15 story to 20 story buildings. Came up with Cosmopolis, with builders and others. Regulatory authorities at BDA, the Apex one, BMC, the municipal services, OSCPC, environmental protection, groundwater board, groundwater, fire department, government of Odisha for the fire safety, life safety, AAI airport, funnel zone, ASI heritage zone, and WRD, natural drainage. That is a very important one, and I think my colleague Mr. Parhi will touch upon this. As I gather from my friend, my colleague of the town planner in Mr. Namani, 107 private apartments, multi-story apartments, they are existing now, apart from the ones which have been approved recently. They resumed approving after the RERA rules in 2020. I attended a couple of meetings in BDA that time also, and there are government apartments, multi-story, there are 17 numbers. Next, please. And now, why it is important, the topic which I have selected for this, importance and necessity of regular inspection. Safety, of course, structural safety, fire safety, and other life safety. The National Building Code has been revised in 2005, emphasizing integrated approach to planning and integrated approach to administration, multidisciplinary approach. And it has been further refined in its latest version, 2016. Safety provisions have been modified, updated as per respective revised codes. Because there are material code, there are structural codes, administration codes, and all the codes have been revised, the fire safety codes. So these codes have been incorporated. Apartments which are not built in conformity to these are at the highest risk. Bhubaneswar, as we know, is in earthquake zone 3, and earthquake is unpredictable, and steel, soft, open ground floors are most vulnerable. So also apartments constructed on filled-up soils without deep foundation. I am writing this because I have personal experience as I have grown with the city and I have been involved in my honorary capacity as a structural engineer in some of the construction as came. And when I, out of my own interest, I saw it from 1990s as a Bhubaneswar has faced impacts of super cyclone in 1990, ripping through building non-structural components were damaged heavily. Structural components were also damaged. Only in 2019, and lack of structural health monitoring. For example, corrosion of reinforcement and deterioration of concrete in open. We are calling it is the most vulnerable open sub-story, which is used as parking. This corrosion of reinforcement and deterioration of concrete is ignored. And this is compounded by the original lesser stiffer column, 10 inches column, which is internationally banned now in courts. We are still surviving on God's mercy, I would say, to quote Professor Murthy, IIT expert and earthquake, whom Professor Parhi roped in the International Disaster Mitigation Conference, and low strength also, concrete M50. And this is also ruled out. So all the columns which are built prior to 2020 substantially were in less stiff and less strong. And deficient workmanship was found. And nowadays, now if you go to any apartments which are built that time, you will find just they have covered up by plaster all the corroded and deteriorated steel. If you take a hammer and put it in the soft floor, it will easily come out, and that is the risk. That is the vulnerability. Our population is at risk, and that is the urgency of the matter. I am trying to put it across the board for consideration. Next, please. Nita, next, please. Modification of individual apartment owners. As they have lived there for 10 years, 20 years, they have been modifying this. RCC structural members have been tampered with and caught by electrical and plumbing or refurbishing purpose without consideration of the structural aspects, stability aspects, updated aspects, and floors have been redone over existing floors. What will happen if you put the grouting and put the floor over the existing floor? It will add to the weight. It will add to the gravity load and the component of the lateral load due to earthquake component. Additional partitions, wall additions on cantilever. This is a risky thing. The cantilever balconies are the highest vulnerable, I would times more seismic coefficient is there, and they are adding walls, they are adding loads there on the edge. Then modification of occupancy. Residence was designed originally, they are changing to hospitals. I have got one such thing in Sunshine Hospital that was originally, I remember, it was part commercial in 2 floors, and the entire things as a hospital, and huge loading has been done over there. Unauthorized penthouse construction in terrace by the builders themselves, so promoters who have done violation of the laws. And one of the main thing you see in fire fighting, fire escape route is blocked, non-provision and non-functioning of the firefighting fighting facilities as per norms, non-existing refuse, assembly areas, non-practice of mock drill, obsolete and unsafe electrical installations. The window air conditioners, they will be running for more than 8 hours in the night because of summer and all that, and it is risky. One person is vulnerable, the entire flats, the entire apartment, they are vulnerable. Unsafe lifts, air conditioning, and ceiling fans. Next, please. Sustainability, yes. The second point, why it is important, obsolete electrical installations. Now we are advocating for energy efficiency and energy efficient installations and energy efficient pumps and motors. Non-use of non-conventional energy. Nowadays we are making it mandatory for certain percentage of solar and other non-conventional energy, and this was not used then. So when we are talking about smart city and sustainable architecture, we have to retrofit for sustainable energy as well, and wastage of water and efficient solid waste management. Municipality has, the Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation has taken adequate steps. Now it appears they have introduced door-to-door collection, but in housing societies, things need to be streamlined. That is not done. Environment, lack of green space, lack of facilities for children, older people, physically challenged. Next, please. And what is the mandate of MD16, which is supposed to be enforced by the development authorities? Part 14.4, periodic occupancy renewal. Buildings more than 15-meter height must be subjected to periodic physical inspection by a team of multidisciplinary professionals of local authority. In this case, we are talking about BDA. The period of inspection shall not exceed 5 years. Professionals can be outsourced also. Inspection includes, among other components, structural audit, fire and life safety audit. Now the most next important point will come in the next page. NBC mandate part 2 continued. Unsafe buildings. By such inspection, they identify all unsafe buildings which will be considered to constitute danger to the public safety and shall be restored. Underline this, shall be restored by repairs or demolished or dealt with as otherwise directed by the authority. So if the builder, if the housing society does not do it, BDA has a mandate as per the code. It is not as per the law is not enacted. It is not there in any regulations. But this is an important facet because life is at risk. We are talking about smart city and this is supposed to be smart people vulnerable to the condition of the building. Structural health is poor, and this is the thing which is mandated by the code and is the recent code. Examination of concept building, notice to the owner. These are the clauses. Disregard of the notice, cases of emergency. If there is an emergency, the authority shall forthwith do that. Retrofitting and strengthening, and the cost shall be charged to the owner as taxes, area to taxes. So such provisions are there in the, but they need to be converted to rules or regulations or laws. Demolition of building, and there should be permission procedure. Next. Current practice for inspection by BDA, again, I got it from BDA. I gathered from my friend, my colleague, Mr. Acharya, who was the architect in BDA, that he used to accompany in team, and that practice has been stopped. But now what is happening, let us see, pre-approval stage, site verification by Amin, field inspector, all of us, we know that. After application for approval or occupancy is submitted. Existing building and construction phase, what is happening in case of any complaint by the neighbor or outsider, site verification is taken up related to land or building either by planning or enforcement. If deviation is detected, the applicant is notified as per ODA or BDA regulation. The owner applies for regulation within the rules. After error registration, BDA records reduced number of deviation cases. Bhubaneswar Land Use Intelligence System, this is an IT-enabled service. BLUIS is now set to be in operation for detecting encroachment and inspection over government land from ISRO satellite by OSAR. Multidisciplinary inspection is not active now. As I said, structural safety is the responsibility, in BDA's view, structural safety is the responsibility of the developer and structural engineer who are certified and engaged for the project. Fire safety is guided by recommendations of the fire prevention wing, and it is on basis of incident reporting only. And in the responsive, the safety is the responsibility of the builder. Housing societies do not submit regular internal inspection. They do not inspect it. And they just plaster it and paint it if required. And some of the cases now it is also exposed, as I said, in most of the steel floors. Next, please. What are the constants in BDA? BDA does not have its own structural, geotechnical, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical experts for inspection. Housing societies are to take care themselves. Housing societies mostly do not have as-built drawings and records of execution, which is the best document for any kind of special repairs or retrofitting. Housing societies are mostly concerned with operation and maintenance and routine maintenance. That too, maintenance is mostly taken up in an ad hoc manner, and plan approach is missing. Housing societies often search for the action of retrofitting, even it is emergency, on the plea of cost, non-cooperation by the members. Level of sensitization is too low. So we are at peril. The risk continues. Ignoring the problem does not solve the problem. It compounds the problem. And every year, I would say that the rate of deterioration is increasing twice. Non-availability of multidisciplinary team, expert team, specifically for the inspection on outsourcing basis. Such consultants are not available. Our consultants are there to prepare the DPR, detailed engineering, structural engineering, but a multidisciplinary team, for the sake of such kind of inspection, has not been advocated, and that is the need now. Role of housing societies. So now we come to the stakeholders. The main stakeholder in a smart city are the housing societies. Housing societies need to be smart, fully IT-enabled, professionally advised by in-house team or outsourced team of experts. We have seen in Mumbai, that is NRI colonies, such kind of IT-enabled smart housing societies existing. I think 3 to 4 years back, I was there for a couple of weeks on personal visit. So I had seen that, interacted. Awareness among individuals on life of structure, structural and non-structural components, do's and don'ts for structural, fire and life safety. And this third point is very important. We have highlighted awareness on collective failure for an individual's lapses, be it air condition, gas leakage, or the wastewater, or sensitization of maintenance. That is very important because an individual lapses compounds to the total system failure. So here the sensitization maintenance staff, the electrician who goes there must be told about what is the importance of a column or a structure, and he should not cut it. I have seen in my eyes, I cut it and I have shouted at him, but he said, no, sir, everywhere I have gone. Nothing is there. The structure is safe. We plaster it, there is no problem. That is the attitude. Awareness and need of retrofitting and periodic special repairs. And the housing societies, but so much apply to BDA for inspection and renewal every 5 years. What is mandatory? Energy efficiency, we need energy audit as per the CBC code. Waste management, periodic inspection and audit is also necessary. Next. I'll conclude. PTA, BACL and BFC, the way forward, fire department together have the lead role. They cannot operate in isolation as the call of the need of the time is integrated approach. So they have to take the lead role together to play in synthetic in the housing societies, facilitating outsourcing of personnel for inspection, monitoring through IT-enabled platforms and media. And BD has to play the lead role, none else, in registration of multidisciplinary experts team, like they have a practice for structural engineers and architects, and consulting firm specifically for statutory inspection on outsourcing. BSL. Oh, I am concluding this. BSL is to incentivize smart city house society. They should reward that. Whomever is they are obeying the rules and taking the steps forward. Buildings more than 25 years, and this is most important, which are from our discussion it comes, which are in critical condition and apparently outdated vis-a-vis NBC 16 need to be taken up for detailed inspection on private. And the smart city mission should include life city as its mandate. Thank you very much.
Minimum. And I have along with me some 5-6 research scholars.
Thank you very much, sir, for your excellent presentation on the topic. But I shall just add one line that it is very important for the government to take the responsibility for the government buildings at least, for the how these buildings can be preserved. But now we observe very less response from the government side, at least for the government buildings. Anyway, all the stakeholders have important and equal responsibility.
I'm mobilizing a lot of people in different.
We will invite our next speaker, Engineer Parhi. Before I invite him, I am very much privileged to have brief introduction about him. Our second speaker of the session, Engineer Bipin Bihari Parhi, obtained B Civil from SBREC, Surat, in the year 1983 and joined State PWD Government of Odisha through Odisha Public Service Commission. Later on, he completed successfully the MTech degree also in Foundation and Structural Engineering. He is having more than 38 years of experience with 27 years in the government sector. His last assignment in the government sector was Project Director, Kotak Paradip Road Project. He is a certified highway safety engineer and trained e-procurement specialist. He has very vast experience in construction, supervision, management of highways, bridge projects, building projects, tunnel projects, not only in Odisha but also in other places like Northeastern Zone, Uttarakhand, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, etc. He has undertaken design jobs of bridges for highways and railways, flyovers, interchanges, geometric and pavement design of highways, design of railways, rehabilitation of structures and buildings, gymnasium, even steel structures also. He has undertaken various training courses, certified courses under National Institute of Transportation and Highway Engineering, Central Road Research Institute, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, ASCI, Engineering Staff College of India, IIM Ahmedabad, Australian Road Research Board, and some other places also. So we have invited him to share his experience on the most important topic, that is stormwater drainage planning in urban area. As we all have observed that Kotak and Bhubaneswar, both the twin cities, are terribly facing this stormwater drainage problem. I now invite Engineer Bipin Bihari Parhi to start his address.
Thank you, Dr. Parhi. Actually, it's a privilege for me to even to speak to you all. So to start with, it's actually may I just request if there are some background noise comes. If at all actually who are not participating, I mean not speaking, if they can keep their mic in mute, please. Yes, thank you. So, so good evening to all. Actually, it's a privilege to be here. I just say it's a Dr. Dalai, Dr. Parhi, Dr. Mahanti, Dr. Parhi, Professor Swain. Everybody is there. I'm welcome. I mean, it's a privilege to be amongst you and speaking to you on a topic which is really a burning topic. A small topic. If you talk about a drain, a part of the total smart city solutions. But actually, we'll go ahead with the topic now. Let me try to project it. Is it visible to you? Sir, is it visible?
No, it is not visible, Parhi sahab. Please share the screen.
Share. Share the entire screen.
Okay, share the entire screen.
Yeah, then again on top you'll get a where you have to share again. Then choose your.
Is it okay? Is it coming now?
No, have
Is
you
it coming now?
Are you, sir, keeping your presentation open there already?
Yeah. Should I close it now?
No. It is not come. It is not come. I think you're having some difficulties, sir. So you should go for present now. Then select share. Then go to the. Yeah. Now it is coming. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it is coming. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chadri. Okay, good evening, sir. Actually, let me just come down to the main topic, that is actually we called it smart city admission. There is a role of stakeholders. The basic, I am actually going about a little bit away from this particular main topic, which is you can say this is a subset of smart solutions. If a city doesn't have a right kind of infrastructure, then actually it's unfortunate to seek any smart solutions, right? So actually, I'll given the presentation just talking a little bit about what is a smart city and what is the urban drainage importance there, what are the gaps, and what are the smart solutions. And if the time permits, actually, I may go for the Bhubaneswar town. A smart city, of course, is the call of the day, and Mr. Tripathi has already elaborated, and our previous speakers, Dr. Dalai also has spoken about the smart city requirement. I talk about adequate water supply, electricity supply, sanitation, etc. All this gamut of things comes under the smart city category. And mostly, actually, what we perceive, smart city is nothing but the digitization. Yeah, that's what actually is happening. When you go to the parking lot, actually, you find information on your mobile, right? And when you get you've got a IBMS system integrated into your building systems, major building management systems, automatically you are aware of many of the operations. So these are all smart solutions. Now, if I try to just say this, what is smart city? It's a decent quality of life, public information. It's a grievance redressal. The electronic service delivery. If this is all taken from say guidelines where actually what a smart city should have. So if you see electronic service delivery, citizens engagement, waste to energy and fuel, I had purposefully marked something and red something in the green, just to show that actually many of the things actually we are having are under development. Is the smart meters or management, monitoring water quality, renewable sources of energy, efficient energy, green building, smart parking, all are there actually in the part of our life, and slowly actually it is coming in. Smart city of citizen forum of service delivery is a developed facilities, segregation of garbage. Let me come down to the last point, which I'll try to go to the topic directly. Roads and other construction sites should be well developed when I'm seeking a smart solutions. If my roads are there and roads are flooding and I'm not able to even move out, that means basic infrastructure is lagging there in my city. I need to address them first. That is an important. Now coming down the stormwater drainage, stormwater drainage is a part of the jigsaw puzzle. Jigsaw puzzle of the part of this particular smart city. In a smart city, if you look into this treatment side, the solid waste management, the wastewater collection, the household collections, and stormwater drainage, these four are part of the entire integrated system of environmental management. If this needs to be here, actually, I can search for smart solutions. Imagine if I'm going for wastewater collection and disposal, I may go for STP. I may reuse the water. So if I'm going for solid waste management, I may take out compost. I may reuse this. This means actually everywhere actually I'll try to integrate some of these smart solutions. So in the stormwater drainage system also there is some smart solutions. So actually the good, bad and ugly phases of the city, when you talk about the good one, nowadays there is a focus on road widening. Most arterial roads are with divided carriageway. Emphasis is on roadside parking. MLCP are coming up. Nowadays, actually, you're finding Bhubaneswar city has taken a little bit of uplift in the look. Road surfaces are good. Buildings are now taken up with recharge speeds and other smart solutions. The bad is what? Very few know such incidents, sustainable urban drainage systems. Improper roadside drainage or no drains, no control on invert level. You find sometimes the road goes in a gradient, and you find the depth of the drain at the topmost level or the start of this stormwater drainage or catchment level is same. That is actually the discharge point. So no control in invert levels. Drains are not planned with outfall. Drains is relegated to non-priority area of road infrastructure. Sometimes we compromise when it comes to the cost. Actually, we compromise the drain. That is another part. And mostly, actually, the scary part is we do not calculate the stormwater drainage. The discharge extent. The stormwater drain is likely to withstand. So we just simply say 1 meter by 1 meter or 1.6 by 0.6 meter, something actually you try to provide. So we do not do a catchment analysis also. There is little engineering in this exercise. And ugly scene, actually, everybody witnesses ugly scene. This is what actually the result actually we get when you do not follow the appropriate drainage system instead. The causes, urban flooding, of course, I need not read out all these things, but yes, there are some points which are very important. For example, the rainfall was there, high rainfall. Nowadays, actually, we are finding different type of the intensity is also varying because of the global warming and because of the change in the demography of the city. And we also find the stormwater drainages are currently designed in rainfall intensity for a 2 years return period. Yeah, that's what actually the code says. CPHW manual also talks about this. Next part is actually urbanization, unplanned urbanization. I'll come to a small example when actually after this particular slide maybe. There actually I'll just try to say our planners should look into the way how they should plan the drains. Disposal of storm runoff is compounded in the cities having flat terrain and tidal effects, global climate change, absence of systematic approach of formulate and implement a holistic stormwater drainage system. We think that actually we provided a drain, actually it ends all. But actually that is not what actually we are thinking about. We have not understood the urban flooding, illegal disposal of construction and demolition waste. And now actually I will come out to the small example where actually we took up this exercise in Delhi. This is about a project there in Delhi only, where actually you find this is a plot there. The plot is about 21.8 acres. Average GL is about 232 meters. And these are the approach road. These are the entry locations. And if you see, these are the RLs. The RL is, you see, actually the lowest is 231, and the western part is 239 and the 235. In that case, actually, your road should be oriented like this. This road should be oriented like this, and all the sub roads should actually come. You may not have an angular road, so you may go for something like this. So that means towards the outfall point, actually, your roads have to be parallel, and actually, you have to have a collected drain along the contour. But here, actually, what say, irrespective of the terrain conditions, actually, we have our arterial roads, and that's why the water is stagnated because of the contour sort of drain. We are not providing a drain like a gradient drain. We are providing contour drains. Urban flooding, if I say, try to give an example, as Mr. Tripathi was telling that there is a natural sort of a drainage, has to be given an importance whenever actually you plan something about in the urban area. Now think about India, Odisha. Think about Bhubaneswar. In Bhubaneswar, if you go about 30 or 40 or 50 years back, Bhubaneswar is a small, or maybe about 80 years back, Bhubaneswar is a small city of maybe about 10,000, 20,000. And few kasbas or few hamlets there in Old Town and Bargad and Lakshmi Sagar, actually these are the small villages. And there are 11 natural streams flowing through this area, and they were discharging into the River or the Ganga Drala. Now what will happen actually? These drains were actually in a regime. There was a terrain available with the forest, with agricultural activities, all sort of drainage were there, and the water actually was coming through those particular catchment to the drain, and the drains have created a regime section depending on that particular flow. That flow was existing since time immemorial, maybe 10,000 years back, right? Presently, what happens? The drains are there, the capacity is same, and we have now changed the demography. We just changed the terrain. We changed the topography. Whatever my discharge coefficient was there in those time, it was probably 0.1 or 0.2 maximum. Now actually constructing roads, buildings, and with the little population area, we have simply increased it. It simply increases, say the P is 0.6. That means what happens? Suddenly, actually, the catchment, the discharge of from this catchment, we increase it sixfold. But the drains remaining the same. And what happened? Previously, probably the drain was earthen drain. Now, actually, what we wanted to make it, it's not, the stream was earthen stream. Now we are making it, say, maybe a rectangular concrete sections. In that case, probably actually I may increase the velocity by 1 kilometer per second. But in any case, what happens for the same catchment, changing the characteristics, actually suddenly our drains are under stress. So they always that is actually there is a overflow. Yeah, actually, if you look at the Bhubaneswar town, this actually is a color code. Actually, you can also witness this from 1930 to 2000. How this town has grown. Beyond 2000 I did not get it. Beyond 2000, probably it is almost as good as the entire area is full because of Cuttack Bhubaneswar greater the comprehensive development plan. So as this area increases, this built-up area increases, the drainage increases. These are the 11 the natural drainage in Bhubaneswar. Now, some reasons of the urban flooding, even if that particular drain is there, you see actually in one particular place near, in the downstream of the Iskab, actually what we found, the drain itself actually about a 3 to 3.5 meter. But in one particular place, actually the drain goes like this. Imagine, this is what actually our tendency to even allow the drainage. So large increase in concrete impervious surfaces. What are the reasons then? Unplanned usage of urban land, lack of proper drainage, loss of wetlands, loss of groundwater usage, tidal effects. Maybe tidal effect not here. Maybe in a place like Puri, very heavy storms, encroachments, and narrowing natural drains. So another point actually what we were marking there, if you see during a heavy deluge coming down even in Janpath or many of the main roads, you find the water actually flows along the road. Even if there is a roadside drain available, we do not have sufficient of entry point into the drain. So in some places actually if you try to take out the cover, you will find even the drain is running dry and road is running full. What I mean to say is that when we design the stormwater drain, the entry points are also designed. Entry points are designed based on actually how much the road is taking or how much the catchment is taking. So that's why actually we have to improve the inlets of the existing drain to even utilize whatever little drain actually we have. Second thing, uh, we have to increase the drain coverage. We are now allowing the water to flow on the roads, etc. And actually, it's not there is not a systematic flow entry, and we have to construct some new drains and right sizing drains. Drains are there in some places. We have to right size it. And third one, which is more important, actually, we should go for a smart solution. This drains, physical drains will be there, and actually we should also go for a smart solutions. We'll talk about a little when it comes to a place. So these are some of the things where actually we allow this water to enter into the drain. Allow even each tree side actually we have to also have a sort of a grillage arrangement where actually we allow the water to percolate. So roads in urban area, I'm not going to yeah. So the urban drainage requirement, urban drainage design consideration that I'm taking about. Actually, you find that a few days back, actually, we were taking up an analysis in Bhubaneswar town just to see that how this rainfall intensity varies within the town itself. The geographical area has increased manifold. And what we found, there is rainfall in some places and then there is no rainfall in some other places. So that means a particular catchment experiences rainfall, the other catchment does not have that. So when we design, actually we should talk about what should be the type of drain. We should also look into what is the frequencies of thunderstorms, the rainfall, peak flow rates, design flow, and the design should be hydrologic analysis and design, and adequate sizing and design of conveyance. So the design problems are increasing rainfall intensities. Rainfall intensity to be used for design will also depend on the time of consideration. So what happens actually if you are talking about methods, design steps? I'm not going to design steps. I'm just trying to explain you about the river basin. Suppose the river basin, the bottom figure is of river basin. When you talk about the city area is located in a small area, and from this city area, actually, you can also divide that into small streams, and you can find out small catchments. In that particular small catchment, you may have n number of roads and actually n number of constructions, building units. So actually, you have to So you have to estimate basically how much water you are getting to the discharge locations. Another point actually, which is while actually we take up design, I'm only touching the salient points. The minimum velocity should be 0.6 meter per second to actually should have a non-scouring, non-stilting velocity. But maximum velocity we cannot allow more than 3 meter per second, because beyond 3 meter per second there will be a turbulence, and for turbulence in particular in the drain in enclosed environment, and flow should not also encroach on the outside lane by more than 1.8. What happens? We have a thinking that actually whatever rain falls in the city area, it should actually entirely consume the water. That is also not possible. I cannot design the drain for a rain that will occur 25 years or 50 years ahead. So this is also not possible. So actually we have to be a little bit pragmatic in our approach. So this is what actually I am producing a table here. Actually you can see this in various places. The drains are in urban areas. The drains are designed usually for 2 years. This is also our manual, PPHW manual talks about this. But in IRC also we have 2 more codes, that is about IRC 42, SP 42 and IRC SP 50. But they have taken from that. Actually, moreover, IRC 50 is a little bit confusing there, where actually they have also mentioned somewhere it is to be designed for 25 years, somewhere actually they mentioned also 1 year. So important design consideration, width and depth. Actually, if you're talking about the economical depth is VE to 2D. And actually my slope should be, the drain should have a slope of near 0.3%, which is the minimum one. If it is too flat, then actually I go for up 0.2%. And the drain should be such design that I should have a freeboard like this, or depending on the bed width, actually this should be the freeboard. Now, how actually we are designing this? What rainfall actually will be considering this? Why this the CWC is taken up some isopluvial map for 25 years rainfall, 50 years rainfall, and 100 years rainfall. So what actually we do? This maps actually there. This isopluvial map talks about this rainfall intensity along the area. If you look at this, I have tried to produce a subzone 3D Mahanadi Basin. This is a 50-year, 25 rainfall drawing. So where actually you could look at little bit. You'll find Cuttack. So Puri is this is Chilka. So you find Chilka, Bhubaneswar somewhere here, Jharsuguda. This covers almost Odisha. Now, for a 50 years rainfall, actually I know. Let's say talk about a Puri. Actually, I get something about 320 mm or 300 mm rainfall. 320 about 300 mm rainfall, and the 300 mm is my 50 years high. I cannot take a 50 years high. That actually I have to now scale it down to 2 years. I have to scale it down to 2 years through various design process and get my the design intensity of rainfall. I'll not go to the detail of the designs, but I'll say what happens in case of a catchment. In catchment, what happens? So this is what actually a road. I have got a TC1 and TC2. That means time of from my extreme end of this catchment, the water travels to the drain, and along the drain my water travels. So at the outfall, I must find out actually how much time it takes to concentrate. How much time it takes to concentrate the rainwater concentrates. So these are the parts actually I have to do a little bit of analysis for a particular road. You may have multiple culverts. You may have different byroads, and within the byroads there are different roads. So you have to now do a catchment analysis. Catchment analysis as per the land use pattern. For example, actually in a particular near C or near B, D or somewhere, actually you get a very big football field. So it is open area. So there actually your P value is different. And suppose you have something about only the roads and only a arena actually having a concrete surface. That means that actual P value is different. So from these actually you will have to calculate. You do the calculation how much water actually will be accumulating. And accordingly,
sir, we have some time constraint, sir. Sir, please take 2-3 minutes more to finish.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So actually, let me go to directly this big these drains. Now we have what should be the smart solutions. There are two approaches. In this case, actually, you can go for a lead approach or the SUDS. Lead approach is something like actually it's called USA model, where we say actually we can control the flow, we can detain, we can detain. So we can detention and retention. Then we can go for a filtration, we will go for infiltration, and we will go for treatment. So these are the things, various things actually we are adopting now. So this is the LEADS model. Now I'll go for another thing actually which is very popular worldwide. That is sustainable urban drainage system that research. This is basically a France model, where you find the models are we may have to provide permeable pavement, we may have to provide rain garden, we have to provide a soakway. So when actually we design, actually give a permission to a particular building or a particular road, when you are developing a road, we have to find out where actually we can have a soakway, where actually we can have a infiltration trench, or where actually we should provide a permeable pavement. We should not go for a concrete pavement which actually allows entire water to flow. And we can go for a rain garden, we can go for rill, we can go for permeable surface. So we can go for a stone-filled trench, we can permeate surface. So these are all smart solutions. So even if we are going for parking, I should not go for a parking with only paver block. I may go for a grass pavers. I may go for more permeability so that I can allow the water to soak. So these are other spaces where actually we can go for a sort of a things which will integrate both the systems. We'll have a drain, we'll have some sort of a things actually where we allow this water to percolate through and or retain the water for some time, delay the discharge. So the time of concentration is delayed, my drain performs well. You see in Western countries also, they use the football field, the open park area. Those are the places at the lowest places, and they allow it for flooding for some time, because these are the places where water percolates. Okay, the beyond drains, let me go to way forward directly. The all roads and drains sewerage parking to be brought under BMC or one particular administrative body or BDA, whatever actually they think is appropriate. But we found actually in other states, the Ahmedabad, we found actually the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation was taking up all these infrastructure activities within the municipal corporation, and ORDA, the Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority, was taking care of all these outside activities. Anyway, this is the government should take up a call where actually they should bring all these roads, drains, electricity, water supply into one particular body, so that what we experience nowadays, some road is constructed, the next day somebody comes and digs it. So that is actually that sort of things doesn't happen. Natural width of the major drainage channel in the city should be protected, and 5 meter from the both the side, minimum 5 meter should be a no development zone. Preparation of the policy manual of drainage and sustainable urban drainage. We may have a smart city guidelines now coming up for the holistic for a whole approach. But actually, from there we have to take out urban drainage, which is a very you have to take up prepare a policy manual. It is also available for various states and even various countries. Rainfall intensity durations, actually those curves are actually not available. Cities are to be told to actually maintain these curves, and the last actually let me just come down to a particular aspect, that the technical committee comprising of the engineers, hydrologists should come. They should be together to work out on a holistic basis for seeking a solutions on this drainage aspect of the urban area. Thank you, sir. Maybe actually I was exceeded. Sorry for that.
Thank you very much, sir. You have made a very elaborate presentation, which is very, very important from practical point of view. And we hope that your presentation will help the listeners. We will now invite our third speaker. He is Mr. Vishal Swain. He is basically a planner. He completed his bachelor in planning from CEPT University, Ahmedabad in the year 2015. Then again also completed Master of Planning in the specialization of transportation planning from the same university in the year 2017. And presently he is continuing as transportation planner under IBI Group India Private Limited. He has some basic experience also. During June 2017 to October 2017, he worked as senior analyst in PwC India. From March 2018 to November 2018, he worked as urban and transport planner in Mars Engineering and Planning Consultancy. Again, from December 2018 to June 2019, he worked as research associate in Center of Excellence in Urban Transport, CRDF, in the CEPT University. Presently, he is assigned with the job of junction design of Ravi Talkies Square, Bhubaneswar, using tactical urbanism elements. Also, he is dealing with the other cases like local area plan of Ekamra Khetra for BDA, preparation of street design guidelines under BDA, study of mobility strategy for Puri town. His subject of presentation today is tactical intervention in the context of urban transport planning. I now invite Mr. Vishal Swain to start his presentation, but I request to complete within 15 to 20 minutes maximum.
Thank you so much, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, esteemed members of the Odisha Engineers Forum. I would like to express my gratitude to the forum for giving me this platform to present my idea and my thoughts. And a special thanks to Mr. Adish Nargunde for this opportunity. I will be presenting on the topic of tactical interventions, what it is, what are the different types of tactical interventions, why do we need them, and what kind of materials can be used for a quick on-ground implementation, followed by some Indian examples. So just a brief intro, sir. My name is Vishal Jain. I'm a transportation planner with more than 3 years of experience in the field of transportation planning and street design, as sir rightly mentioned. Presently, I'm working as a transportation planner in IBI Group and placed as part of the BUKC team in Bhubaneswar Development Authority since 2019, where we provide technical assistance to the Development Authority in different realms. So, as a transport planner, I have worked on and supported both infrastructure-based as well as planning and policy-making projects. And over the course of my journey as a professional, I have both experienced the real world and learned from the experiences of my seniors and colleagues at IBI, SEP, PwC. There are certain observations, sir, that resonated throughout when it comes to on-ground implementation of projects, specifically road or street-based projects. It so happens, sir, that many a times, right after a street is designed and constructed through hardscape implementations and consultations, modifications need to be made either in the median or for laying down underground utilities like electric lines or infrastructure connections or OFC network. Now, the reasons for these could be 100-fold, sir, and the blame games can be played till the end of the day, but no solution can be found out. Also, when the cost of implementation is also factored in, it becomes a recurrent and grievous issue. And since whatever we design, engineer, and construct on ground is at the end for the usage by the people, so it feels kind of disconnected when in some cases the locals are not involved in this design and implementation process. But Bhubaneswar in that terms is a bit better off in comparison to other places that I have experienced. The local accountability and ownership of public spaces, both by the citizens, the professionals, the research groups, even the politicians for that matter, is a bit more on the better side here, with a slice of involvement that could be encouraged through participatory processes like public forums and ongoing activities like Path Utsavs, Park Utsavs. And that is where tactical interventions come into play. The basic crux of tactical intervention is, sir, if there is a problem or opportunity in our neighborhood, how can we address it more quickly? For this particular ideation, sir, cities around the world and even in India are using flexible, short-term projects to advance long-term goals related to street safety, public spaces, and more. Tactical interventions can be defined as short-term commitments as a first step towards long-term change, sir. It is a deliberate, it is a phased approach to instigating change. Now, it can be initiated by a city, by an organization, by a forum like the Odisha Engineers Forum, or it can be a citizen-led approach, citizen-led initiative with the aim of neighborhood building using short-term, low-cost, and scalable interventions. A key driving force of tactical movement is to put the onus back on individuals to take responsibility in creating sustainable buildings, streets, neighborhoods, and cities, sir. Now, what are the advantages of tactical intervention, sir? They expedite implementation of projects, sir, since material, manpower, and permission requirements are lesser. They draw local attention to alternatives and shortcomings in both policy and physical design and allow people to physically experience alternate options. They widen public engagement since feedback is to be expressed through use and demonstrated preferences rather than stated preferences alone. And most importantly, sir, testing interventions before hardscape construction and before making large political or financial investments is one of the key advantages of tactical interventions. The iterative design process becomes a part of the entire project. But another thing to be kept in mind, sir, is that there is a scope to all these things. Now, a flyover building exercise or a bridge building exercise cannot be a tactical intervention. So even that needs to be identified. And there is where we come to the kinds of tactical interventions. So they range from sanctioned tactics to unsanctioned tactics, and they could be implemented from the scale of city agencies or state agencies to even local activists, community groups, and artists. And the kinds of tactical interventions are varied, sir. I'm sure many of you and many of us would have experienced these kinds of interventions in both our national as well as international visits. Certain examples are payment to plazas, open streets, pop-up parks which are happening right now, bike parking, chair bombing, which is very interesting, sir, कि जो public realm है उसके अंदर we place chairs as bombs are placed on a minefield. Now, what are the kinds of materials that could be used in tactical interventions? These are materials which are easily available And for example, for right of way demarcation, traffic cones could be used. The traffic police of Bhubaneswar has a very interesting take on this. They have those steel and bamboo barriers that they use to block off roads or to open roads during shutdown. So that is a local flavor that can be given to tactical intervention and implementation in Bhubaneswar. Surface marking could be done if we do not want a permanent marking as thermoplastic paints. Temporary marking could be done through distemper and floor coat emulsion so that we can test out designs. Shade structures using temporary interventions of bamboo poles or fabrics or canvas could be used. Seating and public realm livability could be established through tires, through wooden crates, and lighting could again be done through LED lights or serial sets. Now, ये तो सर रिसर्च की बात हुई, ये तो थियरी एंड ज्ञान की बात हुई, but do we know कि actually all this thing has happened on ground or not? So the answer is yes, sir. The tactical movement, it takes inspiration from urban experiments, including one very good experiment which is displayed on the screen right now, sir, which is the Ciclovia riverfront in Paris Place. But this is an international example. Why don't we come closer to home? So in India, sir, it has happened in Udaipur. This is one of the examples right outside Vidya Bhavan pre-primary school, where the street conditions that were addressed were inadequate pedestrian infrastructure and lack of road safety for children. Another example is even closer to home, sir, which is Ranchi, Jharkhand, wherein this kind of a tactical intervention was done on MG Road in September 2019, where problems like traffic congestion, lack of pedestrian, irregular parking encouragement, pedestrian safety were taken into consideration. Another very good example, which can be seen across media, is the HP junction design. So this was the existing condition of the junction prior to an tactical intervention, and what the community as well as the city authorities did was they used temporary elements and very very temporary road markings to identify and demarcate road user spaces. And based on the user feedback, this is how the junction is functioning at present. So it is a reality which is happening today, and even we have been involved in this kind of an intervention. You can see I'm showing a small clip of crosscut for Kauai that we did in Coimbatore city in partnership with the city authorities. So it was a 1 kilometer long stretch with more than 25,000 pedestrians, 70 plus street vendors, a lot of 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers and 2-wheelers. And we identified different on ground activities and issues that were present over there, just to assess what are the positives, what are the negatives, and how can we build upon the positives and minimize the negatives of the place. And it was a very interesting activity, sir, wherein we partnered with people from all walks of life, be they be citizens, be they be planners, be they be designers, be they be engineers, be they be administrative people. And it was a very good intervention, sir, that we tried out. It's present over there even now if anybody wants to visit and check it out. So this kind of an intervention actually demonstrated to the citizens what kind of alternatives they could work across, and even to the city authorities, these are the kinds of interventions at a very small scale, not at a very large scale. 1 kilometer is a very small scale wherein we could try it out. And the success of this was a big instigator for the authorities to actually try this in different places. So at present also, they are trying it out in different places, and similar kind of things we are trying to do in Bhubaneswar, as sir rightly said at the beginning. We are trying to plan out and design something like this for Ravi Talkies Chak in Bhubaneswar, and we would really like, and we would be very honored if you could help us in providing actual constructive criticism and feedback on those. We'll be coming back to you, sir, on that particular topic. So this was the existing section, sir, and this is how the proposed section changed, with very minimal interventions, both spatially as well as economically, sir. And at the end, sir, I would just like to request, let's look out for lost spaces in our cities, be they be extra lanes, wider lanes, left turn channels, desirable mid-block crossings where they are required and not present, vacant lands along the streets, and let's come together and change our cities for the better, sir. Hello? So that is all from my side, sir. I would love to hear your feedback on that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vishal Jain, for your excellent presentation based on your practical experience, not only in Bhubaneswar, but also with respect to other places. On behalf of the organization, I extend a special thanks and appreciation to you. We will take your support in future also.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, after the completion of the address of the three speakers, this is the time to listen from our chief guest, Reverend Professor R.P. Mohanty, former Vice Chancellor, Shiksha Anusandhan University. I shall take only 1 minute to have brief introduction about him. Professor Rajendra Prasad Mohanty obtained his BSc Engineering degree from University College of Engineering, Burla, in Mechanical Engineering in the year 1967. And he started his job as a lecturer in the same institute. Later on, he completed the MTech degree in Industrial Engineering and Management from IIT Kharagpur and obtained PhD degree also from Sambalpur University. He joined as a faculty member in NITI Mumbai and continued for a long time as a professor in that topmost institute of the country. Later on, he switched over to industry, joined SEC and some other organizations also. He has more than 50 years of experience both in academics as well as industry. He has got many awards and recognitions in last 3-4 decades. I shall just go through a few of them only, because he has got more than 100 awards from the country and outside. He got Distinguished Alumni Award from University College of Engineering, Burla, in the Golden Jubilee Year celebration. Also, he got the Fellow in the Indian National Academy of Engineering towards outstanding contribution in the year 2004. In the year 2003, he received Bharat Ratna Sar Viswesvaraya Award from the Odisha Engineers Forum, and he also received Intellectual Colossus Award for super services contribution in the field of knowledge in human resource management from Sambalpur University. He was felicitated by Uttar University, Banibhar, towards profound contribution in the field of HR management and education. In 2000, he delivered Viswesvaraya Memorial Lecture in the Institution of Engineers, India. In the year 1998, he received the Distinguished Leadership Award in Academics from American Biographical Institute. In the 1997, he received Outstanding Academician Award from Indian Institute of Materials Management. He has also got a few recognitions in the global professional bodies like Member Advisory Council, the Association of Indian Management Scholars, Honorary Director, Research Board of Advisors, American Biographical Institute, member in the International Board of Directors, International Foundation of Production of Research. And just I have gone through a few of them only, but due to the time constraints, I am not going through all the details. And all of you know, Professor Mohanty is an excellent orator. And if he speaks 1 hour also, you cannot know that 1 hour has already passed. But now it is the time to listen from our revered chief guest, Professor R.P. Mohanty. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Parhi. Am I first audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Complete.
Yes,
100%.
100%. Thank you very much. Honorable President Dr. Pravakar Swain and my dear colleagues in Odisha Engineers Forums. I can't name all of them here, but many of them have already left the meeting because I was observing. Initially there were many, but now it is very few people are present. And our honorable inaugurator, Dr. Dalai, Mr. Tripathi, Mr. Parhi, and many others distinguished speakers who have given ornaments to this particular webinar. I would like to thank first Professor P.K. Parhi, who the other day asked me to join the webinar. And he told me, sir, you have to be the chief guest. I said, whether chief guest or no chief guest, I will attend the webinar because I am a part and parcel of the Odisha Engineering Forum. And then subsequently, our engineer Pravakar Swain, the Honorable President of the Engineers Forum, requested me to speak on the smart city issues. Then I told him, as I experienced in my stay in Odisha, particularly in Bhubaneswar, since 2011 and subsequently, I stayed first in 2011 to 2014. Then I went to Hyderabad. Then I came back in 2018 again, and now I am staying here. And in 2015, the Smart City project was announced. And today, I see, even it has been announced, in real sense, it has not been implemented in the true sense of the term, what is called the smart city. Then, in order to understand smart city, I started studying few papers, searching from the internet, because today internet is the biggest teacher. So I started studying it. I could get a very beautiful survey paper. And the survey paper is written by Philips. Philips, you know, Philips, who produces lighting equipment and many other electronic equipment, located in Netherlands. I was fortunate enough when I was a student in Netherlands in Delft University of Technology. I had the opportunity to visit, and I could see they do a lot of research, particularly in the frontier technology area. And when I went through that paper, probably I will not be in a position to elaborate the entire findings of that survey, but what I could gather, I'll sum up in a period of 5 to 6 minutes. The idea in a smart city is a product, and the product consists of a vector of components. The vector of components, the most important vector of components, what I could see is the cultural components, the culture. So you have given the right title, the role of the stakeholders. The culture of the stakeholder will shape this smart city. Government is one of the stakeholders. Government will do all kinds of jumlawaji, and they will start sending a lot of propaganda and advertisement for the sake of garnering the votes. But we, the citizens who are interested in improving our quality of life indicators, so we look forward to the smart city. Smart city is not merely an urbanization concept. We have seen in our childhood, our smart villages. If you remember your child, those who have spent life in village, people like us, we have seen the quality of life was better what we experience today. The point is not there. What I am saying, the culture of the various stakeholders shape the formation of smart cities and sustenance of smart cities. Now, when you look to smart city, today we are talking what? Today we are talking of ecological balance, ecological harmony. Are we getting that harmony now? We had that harmony in our villages. Why? Because the nature and the people, that means what you call the sustainability, the people and the planet, they were in harmonious existence with each other. And that was improving our quality of life, and our health conditions were better. Today, we are having information and communication technology thanks to Mr. Rajiv Gandhi and Dr. Sam Pitroda, who implemented very successfully in this country the Industry 3.0 concepts, and for which we are proud. But Industry 4.0 has come for the last few years since 2015, but Industry 4.0 concepts have not been implemented in India. Though we claim we do all kinds of jumlawaji, we are modernizing, we are doing governance, electronic governance, nothing is happening. So forget this smart city now. But I was listening very carefully to the lecture of Mr. Vijay Chandra Tripathi, as well as Mr. Parhi on stormwater management. Really, you see, can you call the Bhubaneswar is a smart city? Few days before, last year, not few days, last year, one of my very old students, his name I am saying here is Mr. Nishan Kumar Nayak, who lives in Cuttack, city of Cuttack, and he sent me few photographs of the smart city of Bhubaneswar. He puts in those photographs, there are not only waterlogging pictures, but cattle which are moving freely on the roads. Dogs are moving freely on the roads. And then he wrote to me, sir, we are being fined for not wearing a helmet, not having a license, or not having something. We admit that we are not disciplined. But who will discipline the road? The government is responsible. Who is that government? I remember I asked this question maybe 30, 40 years before to a particular bureaucrat. I don't want to name him, in the government of Odisha. He said, Sir, the government has decided. I said, can you show me that government where I would like to go and approach that government? If it is a physical entity, a living entity, then I will go ask that physical entity, what is that government? Sir, you are the government. So it is the failure of the government. If the smart city has not been implemented properly, if it is not taken up, so it reminded me the theory of mind, which I have explained in some of my research papers. In India, we plan for the failure of the plans. The reasons are many, but I am not going to discuss. We plan for the failure of the plan so that we can make perpetual income out of it. That's the principle of planning in Indian management. We plan for the failure of the plans. So smart city, we will get a lot of budgets. We will get a lot of resources. But where that resources, who is the what is the accountability of that resources? The smart city. If National Highway Authority of India has constructed beautiful roads, then why Bhubaneswar is having waterlogging? Similarly, there are many examples which I can give, but I don't want to tell here. But my request to my younger generation engineers here, you are doing extremely good work. Try to educate the younger generation of engineers by virtue of your learnings, such that they do not behave like us, being irresponsible citizens of the future of mankind. Spirituality is that we serve the people. Spirituality is defined as the spirit of service to the mankind. It is not chanting the name of God or telling Jai Sri Ram. It is the spirit of service to the mankind is spirituality. I am giving the definition given by Swami Vivekananda. He delivered this particular definition of spirituality, the University of Chicago lecture series. So we have to inculcate a culture of spirit of service to the mankind. And if the new generation of engineers who are the members of Odisha Engineers Forum, who can contribute to the service of the mankind by virtue of educating the people, by virtue of creating a culture of pragmatic acculturation and a discipline, a self-discipline, probably smart city will never be a jumla, but it will be a reality in our lifetime. I would like to put what are my learnings from the Philips survey. Just I'll read it out, few points which I have noted. 3 best smart cities in the world: Singapore, London, and Barcelona. They have given why. 3 most critical requirements for a smart city: open data, sharing of data. Citizen engagement, most important is citizen engagement. I'll give an example here. I have lived in the city of Bombay for more than 45 years. I have seen one commissioner, municipal commissioner, how did he engage the citizen in taking care of the cleanliness of the city. He got ultimately Padma Bhushan award from Government of India in those days, but subsequently that city collapsed when the flood took place, and you have seen that rainwater, they destroyed that particular city because the rainwater storm damaged the whole city and many people died in that whole night, remaining inside the automobile car within the water. The third thing is enhancement of services for citizens. We are talking of climate change. Why? Why climate change? Because we are destroying. I'll give one example of mine. I live in the city of Cuttack in Sector 9 in CDA. When I constructed my house in 2000, And in 2000, I have seen in the entire roads a lot of trees, lot of trees. The CDA authorities, those engineers, they planted a number of trees on the road. But today you come and see here in sector 9, in the lane in which I am, road in which I am staying, excepting near my house 2 trees, all the trees have vanished. So we are talking of smart city and sustainability. So who will teach this culture to the citizen of our future generation? So we have a bigger responsibility. That is the role of the stakeholders. Bigger responsibility to educate our new generations the culture of sustainability. Sustainability is for the welfare of the people, welfare of the planet, and making profit for sustenance of the operation and maintenance of the system that we have created. The key components of a smart city are interoperability of systems, city-wide connectivity, and security. You understand these things. But I am not going into the details because time is very, very short. I'll hardly take 2-3 minutes more. The key role of the Internet of Things in smart cities. I doubt that the Internet of Things are being taught in our engineering colleges to our students of engineering. Internet of Things, that is, which is a component of Industry 4.0. But I think, I know, because being an academician, I know many of our faculty members do not know what is Internet of Things, and which requires a lot of reading in artificial intelligence and a lot of reading in machine learning. Even today, the neurology as a subject is being taught called cognitive neuroscience by using the machine learning and artificial intelligence methods. The medical science is being revolutionized across the world. It is full of mathematics now, rather than our traditional medical science. The things that would most easily make smart city, first is the visionary leadership. Visionary leadership means I define leadership, articulating a vision and translating that vision into value-added outcomes. That is what leadership is for me. But what we are seeing leadership here, serving the interest of our voters, mean those voters who belong to my constituency and my party, and those who have voted for me, I am leader for them, not for other people. So I am rather a representative, not a leader. A leader in true sense is having a vision for serving the entire mass, forgetting others. He cannot forget. So articulating that vision and translating that vision into a value-added outcomes, that is what we require in smart city project. And we also require greater collaboration between agencies. I'll give an example. I have seen in Bombay, in the city of Bombay, how collaboration was not there. First of all, the municipality people will come, will create some, lay out some drainage pipes. Then they will do the work and go back. Next, after 15 days, another set of people called electrical people will come, so dig the same road again and lay the, what you call, the transmission line. Next time, after 15-20 days, you will find telecom people will come, will do the same thing. I'm just giving 3 examples. Water supply, drainage, electricity, telecommunications line. They are all different agencies, but under the same government or same municipality administration. Is there a collaboration between them? Do they draw out a common calendar or a city Just like in academics, we draw an academic calendar. Nowadays, of course, many universities they do not believe in academic calendar. I am seeing that. So academic calendar, similarly, the collaboration between different agencies are required. And somebody pointed out, I think Mr. Parhi pointed out, that how collaboration between different agencies can help planning a better smart city, particularly in Bhubaneswar, and bringing everything under one umbrella, whether it is BMC or any other agency or separate agency. It can. So collaboration is a must. So without collaboration, you cannot bring harmony in the environment, and you cannot bring resource optimization. Not possible. And resource optimization here in this government sense, I am talking of, let them minimize the waste. I'm not saying let them produce better output, but if they can minimize the waste that they are generating in the system, and I think that will be a biggest contribution to the economy. So I would like to, because I think, Professor Parhi, have I crossed the time limit?
No, sir. No, sir.
No. I can go ahead.
Sir, 3 minutes more.
Factors that inhibit implementation is budget limitations, which you all know. So you have all worked in the practical sense. And more supporting infrastructure. Supporting infrastructure. The most supporting infrastructure is the ICT infrastructure, information and communication technology infrastructure today. The other day, during the first wave pandemic, I was invited by a series of people, particularly the Rotary Club, Katak and Bhubaneswar jointly together, to talk to students, those who are going through online education. Whether the online education are they effective or not. After that, I suggested to some universities to do some studies, empirical studies, the efficacy of online education program. Nobody responded. Nobody didn't. Because I know, because they will try to cut shortcuts. But when I was listening to the parents in that meeting, the parents gave horrible picture of online education. Not only health-related problems, eyes-related problems, backbone-related problems, not that, but the effectiveness of the learning, which is the main essence of that education. This is what the Katak and Bhubaneswar people are telling. I'm talking of, what about the rural people? They are also equal stakeholders, and they would like to see better quality of life. Do they have a smartphone? Do they have an internet? So our government is taking the pride in saying that we are very effective in giving online education to so many people. Teachers do not know how to deliver effective education in an online system. So what I am saying here is inhibiting implementation. So supporting infrastructure is totally absent. And very important thing, in all of our mindset, we have short-term mindsets. We do not want sustainable mindset. Sustainability means, I'll give you another example here. When I was a student in Delft University of Technology, Netherlands, they were conserving some resources like coal, and they were not using it. They are only using petroleum. We asked that question, why are you not using coal? You do not have any thermal power plants on coal-based thermal power plants? They said that no. Today, we have petroleum in our seas, but we are trying to exploit that. But the coal we are conserving for our future generation, we know this fuel will be in short supply. So they didn't have short-term mindsets. The short-term mindset means that make anything that you want, optimize anything that you want when the sun is shining, do whatever you like. So many of our engineers also, I know, have not been taught the long-term survivability optimization problems. So optimization of our resources for surviving, for endurance in the long term must be taught to our future generation of engineers, such that it is not only the resources are not only optimized, they become sustainable for the future. Because when I remember in our childhood, our forefathers were telling that I am making a property for 14 generations. That is the long-term mindset, 14 generations. But today, let my time go. And you see what we are doing also, our mindset, you see. If I have a waste in my house, I throw that waste to the public place. I become happy. Because this is not my environment. My environment is healthy, but the other public place is not my environment. It will damage. So that is why we are suffering today, not from pandemic, but dengue also. So these are some of the consequences you have to realize while designing a smart city, implementing a smart city project, and giving benefit to the stakeholders. And my suggestion and my submission to my dear distinguished engineers present here, educate your future generation engineers in the area of optimization, in the area of service mindset, not just merely the technicality that is important, that is the core, but these kinds of collaborative mindset has to be done to most of our students. So with these words, I think I would like to say goodbye to all of you, and I thank all of you again, giving me the opportunity to interact with you, and I look forward to future such opportunities to interact with you in greater detail. And I'm very happy the Odisha Engineers Forum during this particular time of difficulties have organized this webinar in virtual mode, and the thanks go to Professor Parhi and his team members, and I congratulate Professor Parhi for your brilliant effort and making this particular webinar a successful one. Probably it could have been divided into two such webinars so that many people would have taken the benefit of attending everything. And you should not extend a webinar at least for more than 1 hour, maximum 1.5 hours. You know, in a classroom, students becomes impatient to sit for more than 1.5 hours. Okay? Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful and excellent presentation on the theme topic. But I feel that we are very much serious in attending, and we do not feel drowsy to listen from very important persons and speakers whom we have invited today. And sir, we will continue with our remaining guests. I now invite Engineer Bimol Das, working president of the organization, to share his thoughts in this program.
Good evening, everybody. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Good evening, everybody. At the outset, I welcome respected Professor Pravakar Swain, our chairperson, to this August evening. Respected Professor R.P. Mahanti sir, my teacher, my guide. Respect our esteemed inaugurator, Dr. Suresh Chandra Dalai, IAS, and my friend and esteemed speakers, Engineer Vijay Chandra Tripathi and Engineer Bipin Parhi, and Mr. Vishal Jain, and ultimately the main anchor of the project, the seminar, Professor P.K. Parhi, and all of my colleagues of Odisha Engineers Forum. I welcome and I extend my heartfelt thanks on behalf of me and on behalf of the Odisha Engineers Forum to all the esteemed guests and speakers who has delivered very valued talks and very informative talks as regards the topic, and spent a lot of valuable time for it, extended 2 hours. So on this contest, a lot of discussions and deliberations have been made on the smart city administration, like the building solution and drainage solution and administrative mindsets. One more thing I can add up here, that the main mission of the smart city that we have discussed, that the core infrastructure has to be developed and a clean and sustainable environment has to be generated and a decent quality of life by application of smart solution. Those are the things has to be implemented. As I specifically tell about the core infrastructure of the smart city, which includes traffic and transportation system, utility services like underground electricity, telecom, internet lines, service providers, internet service providers, gas pipelines, all such things should be integrated. And as Professor Mahanti told, that it should be on a collaborative way in order to make it should be integrated in the planning in a collaborative way. Then smart water supply system, waste management system, and community services like school, hospital, library to be developed. And the crime detection is more important in this smart science cyber area. And as I told, information and communication technology, ICT, and like Internet of Net, IoT, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, also things has to be adapted for the smart solutions. Sufficient open space and smart park has to be developed, and multi-level parking space has to be developed for the city for adequate parking of the vehicles. So issue is actually I have to on the traffic transportation system, in particular in Bhubaneswar. One or two points I can add up, that the urban street which is more loaded has to be segregated in traffic. Like as you know that Baniwar, as you know that from the Rajbhavan Chakut Nandan Kanan road is more overloaded. So the major issue that traffic that we have to reduce. There are particularly exponential growth of traffic in the urban area in spite of fast increase of cost of fuel. So we can reduce the planners must go for this by constructing segregating the traffic from the busy corridor by escape roads or the parallel arterial roads, or diversion of city center. That means the development of satellite towns in different local suburban areas. Then development of adequate multi-level parking lots, which is more important. And it's a smart management system. Like of course, Bhubaneswar Smart City has taken up a lot of parking lots, which is under construction. One I have seen on the way of Nandan Kanan Road also. Then more important is the enforcement of traffic management and traffic flow system on the road. Like I think Delhi, they have made the odd even system that can be adapted. Or most important is to adopt the sustainable mass transit system. As you know that MoBus project in Bhubaneswar is functioning well, but one thing I can tell that the bus transportation should be suitable for office goers. The actually major chunk of traffic goes to office goers or industrial area workers or market areas. So all such things accordingly the traffic routes has to maintain, and the traffic time management. Suppose there are more buses are running from Cuttack to Bhubaneswar, but it takes 1.5 hours to reach from Cuttack to Bhubaneswar, which is not accepted by the public. So as my speakers or previous speakers told, that the planning should be citizen need based. So actually, what exactly our local citizen require, that has to be studied, and the need based planning has to be prepared. So like motorcycle project in Bhubaneswar, almost I've seen, it is such a fantastic project, and which needs a smart management system and a the public awareness of utilization of cycles, more cycles than so that to reduce traffic from the road, to get healthy and be healthy on bicycling. Also things the people actually we have to. It is the as Professor Mahathir told that government, we are the government. So there's a responsibility of each person is a stakeholder in on this process. So actually my observation, final observation is actually for a mindset of the people must be positive. Like suppose all the stakeholders, suppose like the government officers from the top down management to bottom should be corruption free, and 100% who can devote time and interest for the project can be done. Likewise, the politicians with power of politicians and their involvement in a positive mode, and more or less maximum important is the press and media. Press and media, as you know, that they exaggerate
Sir, please
some
conclude.
issues.
There are other
Yes,
speakers
yes.
also. Sir, please complete,
Yes.
sir.
So thank you, sir. Press and media. So also, all the mindset of all stakeholders should be positive, and they should devote 100% time for working the implementation of the project, so that all the plannings can be grounded and implemented and utilized for the public and citizen in proper way. So I finally thank you everybody, and I thanks the guests and all the speakers for joining the seminar and webinar. With this, I remain. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts. Now I invite our Vice President, Engineer Sushil Mahapatra, to share his views within 2-3 minutes. Engineer Sushil Mahapatra. Sushil Babu present.
Are you speaking? Not at all audible.
Unmute କରନ୍ତୁ ସୁଶୀଲ ବାବୁ, unmute କରନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ।
କିଛି ଶୁଭୁନି।
ତାହେଲେ ଶିଶିର ବାବୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ,
ସୁଶୀଲ ବାବୁ unmute କରନ୍ତୁ। ହଁ ସାର୍, ପାଢ଼ୀ ସାର୍ କଣ କହିଲେ?
ନା ନା
To
ମୁଁ
save
କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯଦି ଡିଲେ ହଉଛି ନହେଲେ ଆପଣ our secretary can start.
Thank you, sir. Good night to one and all connected to this Google platform for this webinar. It is my pleasure to welcome again everyone to our beautiful digital venue of this night. Sir, I am to say about our activities to be performed. Already Parhi sir has told, Professor Parhi has told that we are performing 2-3 activities. That is, one is webinar, seminar, and also awarding Visheshwara Award. But as I heard from our chief guest, Professor Mahan sir, I am to say that we are having an activity which is to be performed. Here our members are there, all the intellectuals, dignitaries are there. I urge them to think about this, how to perform these activities. That is one, to promote awareness among people about the social value of engineering sites, and also to aware the people about the culture of the society where they live and how to build a smart city, how to sustain a smart city. That is one activity we are having in our bylaw, but we are not performing till now. It is to be thought now. All the members are here, and also the dignitaries, the intellectual are here. I urge them to think over this area and suggest us to perform these activities. Another activity is to understand intensive study and research in engineering with a multidisciplinary approach. It is to be taken also. Then third one is, it is very vital because our chief guest told to study detail the traditional regional culture of Odisha and different area of the Odisha. And that is to be studied, and that is to be make awareness, that is to be made awareness before the people for their culture and to sustain that culture for their safe preservation. That is one aspect. Now I am coming to the topic of that smart city and the role of a smart city. Already I have heard so many speakers, but in my study and in my views, what I found that smart city stakeholders are plenty. We have not till now discussed about the role of stakeholders. We have already discussed that what is smart city, what is the problems in smart city, what is to be done for this smart city, but who are the stakeholders and what is their role, that is to be also discussed. That is the main topic of this webinar. Smart city stakeholders are plenty and diverse from one territory to another. That is politics, industry, startups, citizens, architects. All of them are components of forces shaping the cities. They are shaping the cities. They are the forces for shaping the cities. Let's think about what it implies for our society shape. At the beginning of a smart city concept in the middle of the 90s, being smart meant being fully equipped with modern infrastructure. That is the smart. It should be equipped with modern infrastructure of the city pushed by IT sector companies. The term extended later, being smart as a city now requires the relevant political, business and civil society stakeholders can engage in flexible cooperation on change and innovative on challenges. No single stakeholder is identified as more important than the others, but all of them are identified as necessary ingredients for success. So the interaction between government, enterprise, facilities and citizens would be easy by connectivity on the one hand in the sense of a vertical decision taking, on the other hand in the sense of better access for all to public services and power. Stakeholders can be defined as interest bearers, organized or not, in groups of corporations, actually used very often. This term reflects a common phenomenon in political sciences and public policies analysis, that is the implication of stakeholders in environmental issues, for example, is really interesting to observe at a global scale. The lack of world public authorities to regulate environmental problems lead to a new arrangements based on the voluntary collaboration of non-government actors. Now, I will say that what I have studied, that we should identify that there are 4 stakeholders. Their role is different. One is government and public sector. Another
1 minute, please. One minute more.
Sir, I am doing it shortcut, sir. Government and public sector, university academics, research and innovation sector. This is the second stakeholder. Third one is IT and construction companies, private sector. I am naming the stakeholders. I am not telling what are the roles of there, because the time is short. Civil society, social and third sector. There are 4 sectors I found that is to be there for the smart city. They are having different roles. Now I conclude that as for the second one, this intermediation asked by digital companies to overcome obstacles between their products and targeted customers synchronizes with the call from the civil society for a more direct and a participative model democracy. And if the caricatural way could let us think that those two pursue an opposite goal, however they actually walk parallel paths. So that digital technology used to make a city more efficient and sustainable. That is my...
Thank you very much, Professor Sahu.
Thank you, sir.
So, gradually our members are leaving the platform. Now, I invite our
Sir, what our chief guest told, it is actually a vast area. It should minimum 2 to 3 webinars.
Yes.
It is a vast area.
We
smart
may like
city is the
to
area, concept of a smart city is the area, role of stakeholders is another area.
Exactly. So now I invite our Vice President, Sushil Mahapatra, to speak only 2 minutes, not more, because we have time constraint as well as many delegates have already left. Sushil Babu, please. Sushil Babu, engineer Sushil Mahapatra.
କିଛି ଶୁଭୁନି nothing is
ଆପଣ
audible.
ଟିକେ ଅନମ୍ୟୁଟ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସୁଶୀଲ ବାବୁ, ଅନମ୍ୟୁଟ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ରଥମେ ମ୍ୟୁଟ ଟା ଏଇଟାକୁ ଅନମ୍ୟୁଟ କରନ୍ତୁ, ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଶୁଭୁନି।
something wrong.
ଯଦି ନ କହିବେ ତେବେ ଆମେ ଆମର ଜଏଣ୍ଟ ସେକ୍ରେଟାରୀଙ୍କୁ ଡାକିବୁ।
something wrong in the system. ତାଙ୍କର କିଛି କରିବା ମାନେ ତାଙ୍କ system.
Now I invite our joint secretary, Engineer Sushant Kumar Sethi, to extend vote of thanks. But I request him not to speak anything about the theme topic.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, may I audible, sir?
Yes.
Jai Jagannath. A warm and grateful evening to one and all present over here. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who have worked really hard to make this webinar happen. I, Professor Sushant Kumar Sethi, Joint Secretary, the Odisha Engineers Forum, would like to extend my most sincere thanks to Lord Jagannath for his blessings and making today's event a resounding success. On behalf of the webinar committee, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our most revered President, Dr. Engineer Pravakar Swain, the Odisha Engineers Forum, for encouraging us to arrange such events in a regular manner. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratefulness to my respected teacher, professor, and my advisor, Professor P.K. Parhi sir, Chief Editor, Bhartek, for encouraging our members to conduct various activities and events around the year. Thank you, sir. I sincerely thank our esteemed inaugurator from Chief Speaker, Dr. Suresh Chandra Dalai, IAS, Commissioner cum Secretary, Uriya Language, Literature and Culture Department, Government of Odisha, for accepting our invitation and passing this webinar as Chief Speaker and inaugurator of the webinar, for giving his valuable time from his busy schedule to enlighten us with his knowledge about the theme area. Thank you, sir, for your valuable contribution. I express my gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Engineer Vijay Chandra Tripathi, former EIC Building Works Department, Government of Odisha, and enlighten us about the importance of the regular statutory inspection of buildings in smart city. Thank you, sir. I express my gratitude to Engineer Bipin Parhi sir, structural and environmental consultant, who elaborately explained about the storm water drainage planning in urban area, such a nice area. Thank you, sir. I express my gratitude to our excellent speaker, Mr. Vishal Jain sir, Transportation Planner, IBI Group India Private Limited, who briefly explained about the technical intervention in the context of planning for a smart city, which is basically required. Thank you, sir. I also express my heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. R.P. Mohanty sir, former Vice Chancellor, Swain University, for your constant motivation and words of appreciation always with us. Thank you, sir. With this sense of gratitude, I would like to thank our working president, Engineer Vimal Chandra Das, working president, Dr. Bhakta Pavi Das, vice president, Engineer Sushil Mahatra, secretary, Engineer Sushil Kumar Sahu, Dr. Divakar Swain, ex-vice president, Parhi Phosphate Limited, Dr. Priyavata Patnaik, director, Odisha Electricity Regulatory Commission, for their constant endeavor in the organization of successful events. Thank you. I would also like to extend a hearty thanks to all our esteemed members, professors, heads, faculty members, staff members, print and electronic media brothers, for the success of the webinar. I extend my thankfulness to Engineer Sindhu Biswal, Engineer Chandeshwar Behera, from the core of my heart also. Engineer Chandan Barik, Dr. Sanjay Kaur, Swain University, Professor Biswajit Jana, Head of the Department Civil Engineering, Dr. Abhik Chattopadhyay, IISc Sipur, Dr. Jayakrishna Marana, Dr. Simant Vallabh, Engineer Sonak Rai, and all esteemed professors of the IIT NIT for their participation in this webinar. My special thanks to our student coordinator, Saurav Panda, for enormous effort and cooperation in preparing all the documents and timely technical support. Last but not the least, a hearty thanks to each and every individual participant from different corners of our country. I hope this session will be helpful all our future research activities. Once again, I thank you all for having contributed to the planning and organization of the webinar to make it a grand success. So we come to the conclusion of this event. Thank you one and all. Good night. Jai Jagannath.
I extend special thanks to our Joint Secretary, Engineer Sushant Kumar Shetty, for his excellent web management as well as excellent presentation in the vote of thanks.
Thank you,
Special
sir,
appreciation is extended on behalf of our President.
Thanks. Webinar closed.
The program is over now.
Thank you.
Well, namaskar, sir.
Okay, thank you all.
Chandra, thank you.
Sir, namaskar. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar. Thank you very much. Very much.
Sorila to.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Babu.
Sorila. थैंक यू बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अपन तो बहुत भल कथा गुड़ा कहले बहुत भल भल कथा कहले
सर प्रोफेसर महान सर सदाବେଳେ ଭଲ କଥା କହନ୍ତି
हां कृपा सिंधु
ଏବେ 2 ମିନିଟ୍ ଅନଅଫିସିଆଲ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା ଆମେ ହେଇ ପାରିବା
कृपा सिंधु ରହିଲେଣି କି
कृपा सिंधु ଅଛନ୍ତି ନା ଲିରେ ଛାଡି ଦେଲେଣି
ଛାଡି ଦେଲେଣି ବୋଧେ ଏବେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଥିଲେ ତ ଅଳ୍ପ ସମୟ
କିନ୍ତୁ ସାର୍ ये जो प्रोग्राम टा आज ऑर्गेनाइज हैला सारंकर कांस्टेंट कोऑपरेशन आ एनकरेजमेंट रे बहुत सक्सेसफुल हे परला हमर प्रेसिडेंट प्रत्येक दिन कोन डेवलपमेंट हैला कार्यक्रम रे सेटा से तदारक करूथले प्रति मिनिट रे प्रति दिन
କରୁଥିଲେ ଆପଣ କିନ୍ତୁ ସବୁ ଲାଗି କରୁଥିଲେ ନା
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପ୍ରରୋଚନା ରେ ଯେତିକି ସବୁ ସମ୍ଭବ ହେଇ परला एटा सर पुणी आगो को सेप्टेम्बर प्रोग्राम टा केमति भले करबा सेटा हम देखिबा
जोटा मीटिंग रे बसिया सिसेरो
सर
ओटा
नेक्स्ट
मीटिंग
वीक रे
आपण
मीटिंग
करते
ଆମେ ସାର୍ ଭଗବାନ କୃପାରୁ ପାଣ୍ଡେମିକ ଟା ଚାଲି ଯାଇଥାଉ ଆମେ ସେଟାକୁ ଭଲ
କଣ୍ଡେସର ଟିକେ ଆସିବେ ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ ଟାଇମ ରେ ଗୋଟେ ବସିଯିବା ଟିକେ ସାରା
ଏଟା ଫିଜିକାଲି ସେଟାକୁ ଭଲରେ କରିବା ଟିକେ ଗେଟ୍ ଟୁଗେଦର ବହୁତ ଦିନ
ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ପ୍ରିପାରେଟରୀ ମିଟିଂ କଥା
ହଁ ସାର୍ ନାଇଁ ପ୍ରିପାରେଟରୀ ମିଟିଂ କରିବା ଭଗବାନ ବରାଦର ପାଣ୍ଡେମିକ ପଳେଇଥିଲେ ଆମେ 2 ବର୍ଷ ହେଲା ଫିଜିକାଲି ମିଶି ପାରୁନେ ଭଗବାନଙ୍କୁ ଡାକିଲେ ଫିଜିକାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ
नहीं सेटा फंक्शन है ये जो प्रिपरेटरी मीटिंग टा बसिबा
हां सर प्रिपरेटरी मीटिंग हमें 8-10 जन डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करी बसिबा सारा भवन रे कोन अछि सोशल डिस्टेंस की मास्क पिन बसिबा
ए गोटे भीतरे
हां हां
अपन के समस्त
सर आई विल गिव हां सर आई विल टेकिंग अप्रूवल फ्रॉम यू आई विल गिव नोटिस टू ऑल मेंबर्स
एग्री कर दियंतु
हां सर
तो अच्छी सब पड़ जाउते
सर
थैंक यू ऑल
थैंक यू
चंद्र सर बाबू तुम संग दळी सर ना
हां ताकर क्लासमेट क्लोज फ्रेंड है
हां रूममेट
देखा गलंता
अरे हमें देखाई नतले कि अंग त्रिपाठी सर का जियो बाहर बोल
हां हां हां
हां सडी मे पेर होटल ले दिखाई नतले दळी सर तू चिन्हिलु न त संग
हाउ रॉयल सर गुड नाइट सर
गुड नाइट थैंक यू वेरी मच थैंक यू थैंक्स टू एवरीबॉडी
सर थैंक यू अपन को बेसी थैंक्स अपन सब पछ अपन नैपथर रही सब करछन
सब मिसिकरी करते समस्त मिसिकरी करते
सर जाले भी अपन का डायरेक्शन इंस्पिरेशन रही ना
थैंक यू बाय ବନ୍ଦ କଲେନି କି? ବନ୍ଦ କଲେନି ଚାଲିଛି ଚାର୍ଜ ସେଇଟା ବୋଧେ ଗାଡି ଚାଲିଛି। ହେଲାନି
ଏଠି ଅଛି